So you registered your business as a business name with the Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria and you are thinking you don't need to pay taxes, then this video is for you. Come close. In this video, I'm going to be exposing you to the truth about business name taxes and what business owners don't know until it is too late. So stay with me. Many business owners get to register their business as a business name thinking that is a safeguard from tax payment. But then, believe you me, that is a popular misconception most people have. Like he said, ignorance is not a defense to the law. Registering your business as a business name doesn't prevent you from paying taxes. In fact, if you don't get to pay taxes for so long, there are a lot of penalties that accrue to you as a business owner. You watching me right now, I believe there are penalties already accruing to your business name because you have done business for several years and you failed to pay taxes. But then if you follow me to the end of this video, I'm going to be exposing you to practical steps on what you need to do if you have already defaulted in taxes or if you want to prevent yourself from getting into tax trouble as a business name registered in Nigeria. So stay with me. Let's first get to understand what a business name is. A business name is a simpler form of registration done by the Corporate Affairs Commission where the business registration is not separate from the owner as compared to a limited liability company where the company has an identity on its own. So in a business name situation, if you get into issues that relates to transaction with individuals, the individual can sue you and the business together. But as a limited liability company, you are a separate entity from the business, and if you get to transactions that have issues, the person can only sue the company, which is different entity from you, the individual. So a business name registration is basically a simpler form of business registration where people just use to carry out business. So carrying out business with a business name registration doesn't exempt you from paying taxes. You only just get to pay taxes differently. So let's look at it. A business name registration taxes are assessed on the personal income tax basis at the graduating rate. Most individuals that work as employees in an organization are assessed by personal income tax at graduating rate. That's the same pattern applies to business name owners. So if you are operating a business name in Nigeria, your taxes are supposed to be calculated, computed and paid like you as an individual working an 8 to 5 job or working in paid employment. This is what many people don't know because business name registration is actually not different from the owner. So the owners get to pay tax to the state inland revenue service in the state where the business is operating and then the owner of the business resides. Let's take for instance your business name is registered and operating in Abuja. You are going to be paying personal income tax on your business name registration to the state inland revenue service, which is FCT IRS in Abuja. So you need to pay attention to all this as business name, and if you fail to pay those taxes, penalties accrue on non-payment of those taxes. And then again, as a business name operating in Nigeria, there are other taxes that have to do with development levies and business premises. If you are get to operate your business in a premises in Abuja, for instance, you have other levies to pay like development levies and business premises. And then again, if you have staff that are working for you in paid employment, aside paying personal income tax that has to do with the business name, you are supposed to deduct from those staff and file to the state inland revenue service as again for FCT IRS on their behalf as personal income tax, which is also termed pay as you earn. But in a case where you fail to pay your personal income tax as a business name and then you also fail to pay taxes that relates to your employees to the state inland revenue service, there are a lot of penalties that are waiting for you to pay. So what do you need to do? So as a business name operating in Nigeria, you first need to register with the state inland revenue service in the state you operate and obtain a tax identification number. And then what next do you need to do? The next step you need to do is to ensure that you keep accurate record. While you run your business, ensure that all your records are being kept appropriately, either on a spreadsheet, which is Excel, or you get to deploy an accounting software depending on the size of your business. So when you get to register for tax with the state inland revenue service and then you keep accurate record, what next do you need to do? You assess yourself for taxes based on self-assessment. You get the accurate rate of computing personal income tax compute those taxes and file to the State Inland Revenue Service. You may need the services of a professional accountant or a tax consultant to help you compute and file this to the State Inland Revenue Service. But then there are allowable expenses, allowable deductions in between that you can use to reduce your taxes legally before you pay to the State Inland Revenue Service, and that's where we come in. At Cruisewise Consulting, we provide practical and excellent tax and accounting related services to businesses like yours looking and watching me right now. So you can reach out to the number displaying on your screen. Let's help you sort out your taxes that relate to business name and clear all penalties and backlog you already have operating your business for so long without getting to pay your taxes. We're here for you. What you need to do is to reach out to the number again displaying on the screen. Let's help you sort out your taxes. So you need to clear that misconception from your mind that business name registration has nothing to do with taxes. Of course, business name registration has something to do with taxes, but then in Nigeria currently, the current position is the State Inland Revenue Service may not have so much capacity to enforce these taxes, but believe you me, your penalties keeps accumulating until the day they come for you or the day they develop that capacity to implement and then enforce non-payment of taxes, and you don't want to be in that situation. So if you have watched up to this stage right now, just subscribe, like and turn on your notification so that you get impactful videos like this about tax and finance in the accounting space, so that you get to develop individually and also grow your business. See you in the next one.